Two guys in the morning on C101, becoming three guys in the morning right here on C101. We have a very, very special treat for you. Chris Perez, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, hello.
What?
Man,
I can't believe that, we have never, I don't know if we've met before. I mean, I've been here for 21 years. I think that we brushed against each other once backstage. And then you had me carried off screaming.
Yeah.
I was like, I love you.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, it's cool. I think that we have a lot of friends in common because,
Pretty much.
they'll mention Rex. I'm like, Rex who? And then, of course, when I lived here, C101 was my station.
You mean you don't live here now?
No, I don't live in Corpus anymore.
Where do you live?
I live in San Antonio, but having said that, I'm hardly there.
Yeah.
Even though I live there, I'm here more than I am over there.
Yeah.
I have a house there, and
now we have a
I
place
keep
to
my
stay.
things
All
there.
right.
Yeah,
Hey, we'll
I keep
take it up for you, bro. We'll go up there, enjoy a Spurs
You're
game.
more than
check out
welcome.
your house.
You're
Raid
more
the
than
fridge.
welcome.
Yes. Okay. Now you have a new book that came out, and I won't ask you the same dumb questions everybody else asked you. Why'd you wait 17 years? How come you didn't wait till 20? How come you? I mean, the timing of the book. What did the timing of the book mean to you? And the name of the book is
It's To Selena with Love.
Okay.
And the thing about it is, it all came about. It wasn't really a timing issue at all with me. It was more of I kind of just went with the flow, And
we kind of do that around here.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, back in the day, before internet and all that stuff, every interview I would do, they would ask me the same questions.
Yeah.
And me being a musician, having played guitar, having been a songwriter for so many years, and that's actually what led me to become a part of Selena's band and eventually marrying, her. When she passed away, it was I kind of felt frustrated. People forgot about that other part of me, and I became this other thing,
Sure.
And so my reaction was to shut down. When it came to press and print media and things like that, they would ask me personal, private questions, and of course, I couldn't answer that kind of stuff.
Well, they're asking you those kind of questions because everybody already at the time, I think, was so in touch with Selena and with the band that they knew all of those little surface things.
Right.
So the fact that you're doing this now, that's great because you actually based it on when you felt like doing it than when someone said to do it.
Right.
And it's going to be easier. Everything in life is easier if you do it when you feel like doing it.
Right. And I don't think, honestly, I don't think I would have ever felt like doing it if it hadn't have been for how the internet has kind of connected us all.
Yeah.
And the social media sites like Facebook and Twitter and things like that. With that, I have the opportunity to actually, almost in real time, communicate with her fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is me talking, not an interview I gave 2 weeks ago, or that guy made it seem like I said this, and I really didn't say that. Here's me.
Or
Here's how I feel.
people who go in there, and I've seen interviews before where they insert their voice into an interview. Yeah. Well, stick around for 2 seconds here. Here's Lincoln Park and Numb right here on C101 as we talk to Chris Perez, whose hand is now in a like a vice-like device there because of all the signing yesterday. We have Chris Perez joining us in the studio. Now, yesterday you did a book signing. You were over at HEB on Saratoga?
Yes.
And I guess not living here, people don't hobnob with you, bumping into you in HEB. So that was a big deal, having a lot of people show up. And I saw the interview that you did with, was it on Caller Times? You did like
With
one
Mr.
over
Costa?
there. Yeah.
Sarah Costa, the entertainment
Here's
director.
the top
Yes,
five things to do this weekend.
Go to this book signing.
She's adorable, isn't she?
Well, yes. I mean, and the whole thing about the book signing, it's like your hand gets so...
Yeah.
You're signing hundreds and hundreds of books.
That's
and,
cool.
I end up leaving the place with the Sharpie in my hand. Somebody calls me, I turn around and write on them. Yeah, sign their face.
That's my baby.
I can't stop.
Is it weird for you when people ask you for your autograph, or are you so used to it? Because I remember this is so weird. I knew I was going to be doing some form of entertainment at some point, either stand-up comedy or on the radio or different things we do, because I remember being in the 3rd grade and practicing how I would sign.
Really?
Yes.
You know what? That's just weird.
Yeah.
In the 3rd grade,
I've heard that before. Yeah.
I remember someone telling me when I was like 6th grade that I had to get a signature. Like, you have to get it down.
You need to get a
Make
signature.
sure you have one for either checks or contracts for your life. You're gonna have to have a signature.
Mine
Same
was
way
for
you have.
groupies, and I was in the 3rd grade.
What's a chick gonna like?
Of course, it was my 4th time through the 3rd grade, so that might explain little age difference there.
You're like 16 in third grade.
When you sign stuff, is it cool to you still, or are you still a little taken back that people want your signature?
Honestly, it all has to do with the approach of the person.
Yeah.
There's times where I'm comfortable. It's almost like you're hanging out talking, and you do what you
I feel like, and he and I aren't big autograph guys. I feel like we could hand you something and you'd sign it with us because obviously the three of us have some chemistry here.
Yeah. And you know what? And
is it about that when you meet people? Or is it one of those, I don't want to hear?
Well, it's because I'm so different. I mean, I've had the opportunity to run into, accidentally, mind you, like away from the industry, music industry. I've had the opportunity to run into a few of my heroes, the guys that I had pictures of, like from Kiss, and different bands, hanging on the wall. I've had the opportunity to, at the store, run into them, and I'm happy just looking at them and walking by.
Yeah.
No, not even that, man. Not even that.
That's what we are. We're kind of like, we want a picture.
Well, that's the whole thing about social media now, and being where we are, you've got to get a picture with a guy. Every time we have somebody here in the studio, we'll take a picture. And that way we spread it out there. It's not so much autographs and whatnot, because I think for Facebook and whatnot, it's that proof of, look, I met him, I talked to him, I did this thing. It wasn't a fake interview.
Yeah, it's for me, that's always been a little weird.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, the other day we were at I was in Los Angeles getting ready to start this promotional tour for the book and stuff. And my manager, my publicist, and myself were sitting outside having a meeting, talking about what we're going to do, going over scheduling and things like that. Out of a Cadillac, I don't know, it was like an SUV or something, right? Comes Tim Allen. Mind you, I'm sitting right there by the front door of Starbucks. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, see,
dude gets out, walks in. Of course, we spotted him right away. And my first reaction is just sit here, don't say anything, act like you didn't see anything. And my manager's like, hey, Tim, how's it going? When he comes out, and can we take a picture? He's like, yeah, sure. Real nice guy, so there I go. And so having said that, I'm not really one to do all that stuff. As soon as I got that picture, man, I was tweeting it. I was Facebooking
Check it out.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing? Having a sandwich? Check what I'm doing.
This guy touched Pamela Anderson at one point.
Exactly. Just a normal day in the life of,
Stick around, y'all. C101. The book and people in their perception of it before and after reading it. People, when they see the book and they go, oh, do they automatically think they know what it is?
I don't think so. The thing about it is, when she passed away, I mean, the way I ended up coping with it, or what kind of made it a little bit less stressful, was to keep, I was protective over those memories that I had and a lot of the stories, of the life that we shared together.
Okay.
So I wasn't the one out there
selling it to TMZ,
talking to people, but different people handled it a different way. What made another person feel better was in the family might have been to go out there and tell all the stories, and they'd laugh and smile and feel good for a moment anyway. But for me, if I was ever coaxed out of that little shell, I would catch myself talking about it. I'm just like getting down, and you know what I mean. And
sure.
So I just bottled all that up, boxed it, put it away, so to speak. And now that I've had the chance to communicate with the fans, via internet and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, after years and thousands upon thousands of requests, questions, what was she like, off stage? Because everybody, has seen the videos and heard the songs.
Sure.
As far as her fans go in the movie.
Yeah.
And, I just felt like it was time to do it and get people to see a different side of her, because not only was she beautiful, not only was she talented, but she was also a great person, and I was very lucky to be able to spend the time that I did with her. And I just wanted to give people, I wanted them to see her in a different light.
Okay.
And,
so when you get to the end of the book, it's obviously not judging the book by its cover and going, oh, yeah, I already know this story. I already know this.
No,
I think I already know what this guy's going to say.
Yeah. Well, everybody knows the end result, basically, as far as what happened. But they don't know a lot of the inner, what kind of led to certain things. And there was also a lot of misinformation out there that I did my research and I cleared up as much as I could. Obviously, I couldn't do everything, but I cleared up what I felt was really important.
It was a disaster when it happened. I still remember. I was here on the air. I was doing a weekend starter party, and that's what's weird about it is people can also tell you exactly where they were,
right,
without even thinking about it.
I was in my garage.
I can tell you, I was
my
downtown.
mom got home from work. It was weird.
I was downtown working. I was already on air, And when I found out about it, it was, I guess, 3 or what time was it when all of this stuff happened?
It was late afternoon, sort of, kind of.
We were there from 3 to 7. I remember somewhere in that span,
Right.
I heard about it. And I was blown away at the response that I immediately saw, even on driving home and the people driving around with their headlights on, and
Right.
just how this community, it was their, I don't know, it was their 9/11 at the time. It was their Titanic. It was their disaster for
Right.
this community. Rex and Gino on C101, 2 guys in the morning with Pantera and Cowboys from Hell. Now, you, Chris Perez, joining us in the studio, Gino, Rex, Chris Perez. Now, coming out with the book. Now, the book is great. Everybody loves the book. They're asking for it and getting copies signed. What is next for you professionally past the book? Are you still involved deeply in music?
Yeah.
What is your thing, man? What is it that drives you?
Well, we're right now before the book.
Yeah.
Before I started, when I was writing it, I was still writing music.
Yeah.
I've got my band together. Back when right after she passed away, and I started to pick up the pieces again, and I recorded my CD Resurrection. We got a Grammy for that in '99.
Awesome.
Then I kind of, it was a lot. It was a lot to handle for me, being the spokesperson, being the leader of a band, and I kind of took a break from that, went back to work with my ex-brother-in-law, A.B., Selena's brother, and was involved in a bunch of projects for years, and it was kind of funny because I said, I only do this for a month or two, maybe 3 months.
Yeah.
That turned into a year, turned into 2 years. It turned into like a 7-year stretch.
Yeah.
And then I decided to start writing again the rock kind of stuff that I'd been doing, and that's kind of where we are now. And I firmly believe that 2012 is going to be the year that I release the next rock album that I'm going to work on.
Good.
We did have some success with the Resurrection, the first one that I put out, which is, we had some songs that actually y'all played here on C101
Cool.
that did really well for us. And hopefully this year we'll be back there again, But I did put a couple of months aside so that we could give the proper time and treatment for the book, that it deserves. So I'm kind of, as far as the music, there's a 2-month window that I'm giving myself to push this book.
Did you realize back in those days that you were having as good a time as you probably look back and reflect on it now? I mean, like, you look back on certain times of your life and you go, man, I never had friends like that again. Or, man, I never knew a girl like that again. Or, man, I wish somebody would have told me to hang on to every breathing moment of this situation. Do you look back on those times like that? I mean, I'm not saying you're not a hopeful
Honestly,
person
Rex,
now.
dude, I've thought that many, many times. Exactly those 3 things that you just said. I mean, yeah, they cross my mind constantly. I mean, those were great times, and I've had some since then.
Sure.
But back then, it's kind of like I wasn't.
It's almost like
what's
you're
the
not
word?
consciously aware of the great time you're having until after it's passed.
Right, and then you're not
Yeah.
aware of
Its
some of the
significance.
but also you're not aware of some of the crazy things that can happen to you to to kind of end that and put you on a different path.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a gradual thing that kind of happened.
You're like, on this given day,
Yes,
here's where I went
everything
down.
changed.
yeah, your life
Here's where I
changed. You
did
live a new
something else.
reality after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, those things have crossed my mind quite a bit, and I mean. It was difficult for a while, but you pick up the pieces, and with time you move on. And I ended up doing writing music again, having my band, having my kids. I'm a father now. I have my daughter's 13 years old, believe it or not. My son is going to be 7 in April, and
Wow.
to me, that is the most important thing in my life. Is being a father and my kids.
2 guys in the morning on C101, Damage Plan and Pride. Chris Perez in our studios. Man, I just wanted to thank you for coming by and talking to us and having a good conversation. And
Well,
interviews to me
very nice
are
talking to you.
horrible. I hate interviews. And
Yeah.
honestly, they send us all this stuff, and I never read it.
Here's
I
the
don't
question.
read it
Here's
for
the point.
Gino can tell you, I don't read any of the press things that they send us. I just want to meet the person and talk to them, and I feel like I really makes you. It's
Well,
fantastic
thank
meeting
you,
my
Rex.
friend. Very cool. Good
Thank
luck
you
on
for
the
having me, man. And again, thanks for the opportunity to give me the chance to